You've probably heard a few of these before, the so-called rules of guitar playing that everybody goes on about. Today, we're busting 4 of the biggest acoustic myths that hold players back. I'll prove each one live so you can hear the truth for yourself. I'm Skeet, let's dive straight in. Whether you've been playing a few months or a few decades, these myths creep in and quietly slow you down. We'll look at 4 of them and why they don't hold up and what to do instead. Stay with me for the quick demos and your ears will tell you everything. So myth number 1, you've got to play full songs before you're any good. Well, I dispute this. I've done whole videos about this. I'll drop a link here if you're interested. Now, there's a few reasons why I don't think it's important early on in your learning. Now, of course, the ultimate goal is to play hundreds of songs all of the way through. But if you feel you failed just because you can't play whatever song it is you're learning all the way through, and that stops you learning further things, then I say learning full songs isn't that big a deal. What you do get is transferable skills. For every song that you attempt to learn, you are gaining skills, and these skills are transferable. So if you were to think of songs more as a vehicle just for a technique, and then every song you attempt, you're just putting another tool into your toolkit. One day, you'll have enough tools to play anything you want. When I was about 13 years old, I learned how to play the intro from Stairway to Heaven incorrectly. So something like this. Now, the keen-eyed amongst you may well have noticed that that wasn't quite correct, or even though it sounds like it is, or close enough. So I could only play that, and I could only play that for years and years and years. I couldn't play the whole song. And it wasn't until many years later when I was actually going for guitar lessons and we were studying Romanza, a very famous classical piece that I'm sure most of you will know. And I realised that the skill from Stairway to Heaven was transferred straight into this. Let me show you. And there it is, that chord from Stairway to Heaven. That half bar that I'd learned 15 years before I'd ever been for a lesson was still there, and I was able to play that with no effort whatsoever, really. So, if you don't get the full song, whatever it is you're attempting, you're not failing. Just remember the skills you've learned from it and transfer it onto the next piece that requires that skill. For me, learning Stairway to Heaven all those years ago gave me a transferable skill. Myth number 2. Louder strumming means better sound. No. Let me demonstrate. To me, that just hurts my ears. There's no tonal contrast in there. There's no touch. Zero feel. So, you know, an acoustic guitar's a big box. Let this make the sound for you. I'll play the same thing again, but I'll play gently. I'll add a little bit of sculpting to my sound, and let's just hear the difference. Wasn't that much nicer? You know, I'm never hitting all 6 strings at the same time. I'm making sure I'm hitting bass notes on the beat. Beat 1's always a bass note, and then I'm tickling the strings throughout, really, and just creating nice sonic textures within there, not just blasting your face off. Music isn't like that. So remember, tone beats volume any day of the week. Feel beats volume any day of the week. Groove beats volume every day of the week. When you're hitting your guitar hard, you're not delivering any of those other aspects of what guitar playing should be about. So make sure you listen to what you're playing. I know we get caught up in the moment, enjoying playing music, but always use your ears. Myth number 3, capos are for beginners. Let me show you why that doesn't stand up. Okay, so Norwegian Wood by the Beatles. I'm going to throw the capo on. Or in fact, should we look at what playing that without a capo would mean? I don't even think I can do it. So I would have to, the original would have a capo on the 2nd fret. So I'd have to bar with my first finger to make it a capo. I'd play my D here. Yeah, it's just not going to happen, is it? So sometimes capos are used just because it suits the singer's vocal range, okay? We could, with a capo on 2, it puts us in the key of E. We could look at it there. Yeah, so, you know, it's sounding a little bit closer there, isn't it? But it's still very difficult to play. Yeah, or we can just throw the capo on the 2nd fret. Tonally different already, isn't it? It just sounds so much nicer. So it doesn't detract anything from what I'm playing. What I'm playing is still a nice bit of guitar playing. Is it lost anything because the capo's on the 2nd fret? No, of course not. I think, let's do another Beatles, just to kind of show you the diversity of their sort of songwriting and how a capo, even for bands like the Beatles, is absolutely a key part of the music they made. So Here Comes the Sun, one of my favourite Beatles songs and a real beautiful piece of guitar playing, was recorded with the capo on the 7th fret. And listen just how it comes alive now with the capo on. And there's that iconic, intro that we all know, and just how much nicer it sounds with the capo on. So are capos for beginners? No, you're not, no. Sorry, I have to disagree with that strongly. So let's move on to myth number 4. Metronomes are boring and they don't make you play any better. So what a metronome does, or in fact a drum beat on, there are many drum backing tracks on YouTube. And I prefer a drum backing track to a metronome, to be honest. But what metronomes enable us to do, as well as just playing in time, they help us to actually add groove and feel to what we're playing. So I'll start the metronome here. So another thing that you should consider doing, as well as just playing along with the metronome or a drum beat, a drum backing track, is actually play along to a backing track for the song, like this one. So suddenly we're making music. It's like we're in the band. We can get lost in the moment and we can experiment with our touch, our feel and our groove. It's something that we don't always do when we're just playing alone. So go out and find some backing tracks, guys. The internet is absolutely full of them. I have some lessons on my YouTube channel with jam tracks. Here's one, for example. So there you have it. 4 myths that hold so many players back. Which one caught you out? Drop a comment and tell me. If you enjoy these reality check lessons, then be sure to hit like and subscribe to my channel and come back for more. And remember, good playing isn't about following myths. It's about listening, feeling and learning smart. I'm Skeet, thanks for watching. Until the next time, do your practice.